Alright, this seems to be a thing that CG is just doing nowadays. They always have a Q&A. We had one for Son of Star Wars, we had one for Reva, now we got one for Doctor Aphra. So, let's get into it. Hey everyone, thanks for all your questions on the kit review. We appreciate your participation. If this is something you'd like us to do more of, please click the thumbs up. Well, so far you've done one every time there's been a new character, so I don't know, I thought that was the plan. Apparently not. First off, is this going to take away Chrysanthemum from the Hut Cartel team, and is this going to make Darth Vader part of this squad as well? Vader, Chrysanthemum, and Aphra have a history in the comics that we wanted to represent with the mechanic on her kit. You'll note that Aphra's most optimal team is centered around droids, not Darth Vader and Chrysanthemum. Yes, I did notice that as well. There's a lot more with droids versus them two. They're just kind of an option, but not really a requirement, I guess you could say. The GIF for Rogue Archaeology appears to show turn meter removal, yet the text only indicates that stagger is inflicted. Is stagger inflicted before or after the damage is done? Stagger will be inflicted after damage. You know, you say that, but the GIFs never really show anything. It says stuff in the description, and I'm like, how come that's not shown here? So I don't know really what you're talking about, but sure, bro. And then it says, yeah, it only indicates that stagger is inflicted. Is stagger inflicted before or after damage is done? After damage. Like, duh. When the heck would it be stagger first, then damage? Does the offense increase apply per debuff or just per applying any debuffs that turn? The offense increase applies per debuff inflicted. What? I don't think that really answered the question. It says, does the offense increase apply per debuff or just per applying any debuffs that turn? The offense increase applies per debuff inflicted. So what does that mean? Per that turn? It must mean per that turn, right? Because it says inflicted. I don't know. They didn't really answer it in a straight about way, though. How does defense, offense, and tenacity interact with potency? If Aphra had 100% potency, will allies gain 30% offense or plain old 30 offense? 30% offense. The more she siphons, the more difficult it will be to take her squad down. Gain 30% offense of what, though? Of her stats or of their own stats? It probably says it in the kit review. I just haven't seen this thing in a couple weeks now, so I don't remember the details. Anyhow, is she meant to be as powerful as Starkiller, her partner in Legacy event? GAC-focused characters. What? What kind of question is this? Is she meant to be as powerful as Starkiller, her partner in Legacy event? Grand Arena-focused characters. What? I don't understand what that back half means. It made sense all the way up until that. Doctor Aphra was designed at the same power level as Starkiller, given they have similar requirements and events. She's supposed to be a Starkiller level? I didn't think of her as that juicy. I don't know. Maybe it's because droids, and I always think of droids as kind of weak. Like, even Grievous droids, I always think of as weak. They're only good because of Grievous. Why isn't Aphra neutral? True, she was mostly self-centered, but she didn't play any side other than her own. Neutral alignment would reflect that aspect of her. Unlike Hondo, who historically has found himself aligning with whomever might be around and would freely and often flip-flop sides mid-mission, Aphra rarely had these kinds of interactions with light side characters. Yeah, I guess so. Like, she's neutral but leans more towards dark side, I suppose you could say. Like, prefers the dark side. Why does she not summon a B1 battle droid? We considered this, but we thought it would be more fun for players to get to control one of the commando droids instead. That's fine, I guess. Will Chrysanthemum get modifications to his kit to synergize better with Aphra, since a lot of his mechanics are tied to the Hut Cartel? Beyond the Chrysanthemum callouts in Aphra's kits, there are no further synergies planned at this moment. I don't see why there would need to be anyways, because again, as they already said, she's more focused on droids rather than Chrysanthemum and Vader. They're just kind of options, just because she has hung out with them in the past. What are the Hack Commando's droid tags? Darkside Attacker Droid. What a dumb question. Who cares? It's just a summon. It doesn't really matter. As a surgeon myself, is Aphra a medical doctor, surgeon, or one of those PhDs? Aphra's doctorate is in archaeology. Okay, first off, what the heck kind of dumb question is this? It's dumb in so many levels. You're calling your... I thought doctors were smart. This is a very dumb question. First off, this doesn't even matter to the context of the game. Who cares? She's a fake made-up character in a fake made-up universe. Like, who cares what her degree is in? You can pretend it's in anything. She's a degree in skin farming, like, whatever. Second off, though, it's pretty mother effing obvious what her degree is in. I mean, she has a move. They just set it up here. Where was it? Rogue archaeology. Duh. She's an archaeologist. What the fuck do you think her degree is in? Are you kidding me right now? What kind of stupid question is this? Is Aphra a medical doctor, surgeon, or one of those PhDs? And then what is that back end supposed to mean? Or one of those PhDs? Like, you just saying, like, somebody who's got a doctorate in anything but not a doctor at all? You're like, oh, I got a doctor in literature. Oh, okay, so you have a doctorate degree, but you're not really a doctor at all. Or, I got a PhD in engineering. I don't even think that's a real thing. You become a PE at that point, but still. Like, is that what you're trying to ask? Or one of those? What does that mean? One of the ones that are honorary? Like, they give to the guest speakers at college graduations? What does that even mean? Are you just being a snide little bitch? But, like, this question's so stupid. And what's even dumber is that CG entertained it and put it in here. That has nothing to do with the game. If you came to this forum to look for serious Q&As, like, I'm just making a stupid video, so I don't care. You can put your dumb content in here. But if you're looking for a serious Q&A and you came across this, it would be like, what? You're wasting my time with this. I don't care. It's so stupid. Anyways, in Unique, when ally falls below 20% health, they gain damage immunity. 20% is a very low, narrow band to land in to take advantage of this. Does Aphra prevent the ally from going below one health to allow this to kick in? No, Aphra doesn't prevent the unit from being defeated. Although 20% is narrow, it lends itself quite well with other aspects of the kit and was intended to be a possible comeback mechanic and as a way to punish light to mid damage AoE enemies. Light to mid damage AoE enemies. Okay. 20% is a very narrow band, I get it, but if you have a lot of health, 20% is still a lot. You know what I mean? Like, if you modify your characters up and their health is, say, 100,000, well, 20% is still 20,000 health. Like, it's not a lot, but some characters only have, like, 60,000 health, so in the grand scheme of things, it takes a while to get there. Now, yeah, it's damage immunity, but I don't know. It is still pretty narrow, but still. Like, I feel like they're getting too paranoid. Like, oh my god, what if you get below one health? Which, again, another dumb question, below 1 health. Then they're fucking dead. But, anyways, I just think you're being a little over paranoid. You'd be fine. You get down pretty low all the time. And what would 20% health be anyways? Is that, like, right when you start getting into the red phase of your health bar? Or, I don't know. Anyway. Does this mean one random droid and the other two? Revive a random non-separate droid dark side ally, BT1 and 000. Indeed it does. Yes, it does. I knew that right away when I first read that. Why is this even a question? Revive a random non-separate dark side droid ally, comma, which means and, BT1, comma, which shouldn't be there, and 000. It even says and. Like, obviously, yes, it means all three. You can get those two back plus another one, so your team's almost wiped out, and then boop, full squad back. Why are the Omicrons only for 5v5 Grand Arena and not 3v3 Grand Arena too? They already addressed this. They addressed this in the Developers Insights side of things, I think. But sure, let's do it again. Aphra's 3v3 GAC team is optimal with BT1 and 000 as her partners, who both have 3v3 GAC Omicrons. Yes, that's the reason. Because I said those two characters already have 3v3, so we'll just spread this out more with Aphra and do a 5v5. Now you get the whole field covered. If it's 3v3 GA, then you put Aphra with them too. If it's 5v5, you put Aphra with a bigger team. So it's constantly viable in GAC. With 3 Omicrons herself, we had to cage that power or else her 3v3 team would have far exceeded our intention. Yeah, that would have been like 5 Omicrons on one squad. Lowercase, if you use her middle ability, what health and protection are the droids revived with? The health and protection recovery occurs before her revive, so the droids will come back with 1 HP. Well, that's pretty crappy. We debated on whether or not we wanted to the recovery to occur after the revive or before. But she's not a true healer, and this leaves room to play around with her squad composition and bring in a more dedicated source of sustain ability, I would think you should put. Why did it just stop at sustain? It's weird. In addition, with her Omicron active, the amount of damage over time that could be potentially inflicted by having those droids be defeated twice was truly a spectacle to behold. It turned the tide in several otherwise difficult matchups for her. What? Hold on. In addition, with her Omicron active, so now we're talking about GAC, the amount of damage over time that could be potentially inflicted by having those droids be defeated twice was truly a spectacle to behold. It turned the tide in several... Oh, okay, I see. Wait, what are they saying though? It turned the tide in several otherwise difficult matchups for us, so like normally she might possibly lose, but now it turns the tide so she's dominating, or... I don't understand what they're trying to say there. That could probably... Whatever, I don't know what this is saying, fuck that one. Why exclude Hondo from being compatible with Aphra? Is there a specific squad you intend on him... What? Is there a specific squad you intend him on staying with other than Aphra? Intent, okay. Not intend, intent. We created Hondo as a plug-and-play unit, perhaps the most plug-and-play unit given the neutral tag. Players should feel free to experiment with Hondo and not see him as required for this or for that squad. That actually does make sense. I never thought of that before. He's A, neutral, so that makes him super plug-and-play because he doesn't fit with light or dark. And B, that's kind of his whole shtick. So I wonder, even though his kit did have certain synergies with certain characters, I think, he probably still is pretty versatile, huh? Never even thought of that before. I don't know why it never dawned on me until just reading that right now. Anyways, I was just thinking how they left it to say, is there a specific squad you intend on him staying with? Why doesn't CG at least edit this and make it be the right way? Just because the person spelled the word wrong, either A, they're dumb, or B, it was a typo, why would you leave it? Just fix it. Oh, you know what I just realized too? Exclude is wrong. That says exclude. Exclude Hondo. So why not fix that so it actually says exclude properly? Why not fix intent to say intend? Why not capitalize Aphra, because that's a name? They did it in the bottom part with other than Aphra capital, but the top one from being compatible with Aphra lowercase. If lowercase. Come on, don't be dickbags. Fix this stuff. God. On Aphra's leader Omicron, it says once per turn on the TM gain. Period. Maybe I should have put some quotations because that just looks goofy. Do all TM gains from that effect happen at once? Say BT1, lowercase, no dash, inflicts 5 damage over time from his first special. Is that 10% turn meter from the Omicron or 50%? In the example you've given, BT1 would gain 10% turn meter from the Omicron for that turn. That said, as a part of the main ability, BT1 would also gain 10% turn meter for each debuff. So in 5v5 Grand Arenas, BT1 would gain 60% turn meter for inflicting 5 damage over times. Yes. Huh, so 60. So it does the initial 10 plus 10. Oh, that's cool. When in Grand Arena, with the Omicron on Special 2, is the bonus damage that's based on Aphra's potency, period, also special damage for the purposes of armor resistance? Yes, the bonus damage from the Omicron on her Special 2 is special damage. That's one thing I never really understand though, special damage versus regular damage. It's not like it really makes a difference. You know, like in the Pokemon games, special damage versus, special offense versus regular offense makes a difference. But in this game, I'm like, what does special damage do? Nothing. It's the same. and I don't even think there's a way to modify, like with mods, your special offense and all that. So it's like, what's the point of having something separate that really makes no difference? I don't know. Unless it does, and I'm just an idiot. Maybe. Anyways, here's a book and a half that they decided to answer. On her leader ability, it states that whenever a dark side ally inflicts a debuff, they gain 5% offense for 1 turn, and Aphra gains 5 siphon until the end of the encounter. If Darth Vader uses Force Crush, it applies 3 effects of DOTs and speed down on each enemy. Would he get A, 5% offense, and Aphra 5 siphon? All debuffs applied at once. Face, 10% offense and Aphra 10 siphon. 2 different debuffs applied at once. C, 25% offense and Aphra 25 siphon. Once per enemy, considering 5 enemies. D, 50% offense And 50 Siphon, 2 debuffs per enemy considering 5 enemies. Or E, 100% offense and 100 Siphon, 4 debuffs per enemy considering 5 enemies. It's a lot of options. This is per debuff, but remember that the offense increase only lasts for 1 turn. Yes, it's very low and crappy. In the case that you mentioned above, Darth Vader usually gets 10% offense for 1 turn for each debuff. So, 3 instances of the DOT, 30%, 1 speed down equals 10%, 40% total for a single enemy. Assuming 5 enemies and every debuff lands, Darth Vader would gain 200% offense for 1 turn. Whoa! That is way more than what this person said. E only got up to 100%. This one's 200. Nice. He'd be way stronger for 1 turn, but still. However, they only addressed Vader. This had 2 parts to it, basically. It was also with Aphra. They were asking what would happen with her Siphon. You didn't address that at all. So does that mean she gets 200 Siphon? You didn't even mention her at all. You strictly focused on Vader. I get it, this was a long question, but if you're going to address it, at least properly answer it. Are you serious right now? And, all things considered, this is a Q&A on Doctor Aphra's kit. Why would you focus on the Vader side? It would make more sense if you avoided or ignored the Vader question and focused on the Aphra question. Why did you just only answer the Vader stuff? You kidding me right now? Oh, CG's so stupid. I like that she seems to be a heavily potency-oriented character rather than speed-based. What spurred the decision to base her abilities around potency? CG Mouse. Who the heck is this guy? I really enjoyed the playstyle of debuff-focused teams, and we had identified early on that Dr. Aphra's team would be well-suited to this based on the way 000, whatever his name is, and BT1's design evolved. While there were opportunities to add Can't Be Resisted to achieve the ideal power we were looking for in her kit, we wanted to explore making potency a pillar in her design approach instead. This allowed us to stick to the established and familiar play space of potency debuffs while also utilizing it in a new and interesting ways throughout her kit as a whole. This isn't a new standard for potency, but does allow Aphra to stand out in the way she utilizes it. Okay, cool. That was pretty much an answer, at least, you know? Not much to say. The guy answered the questions. CG Mouse, I don't know who you are, but cool. From this part of the kit, do allies gain a flat 10% TM, or is 10% TM per debuff? So if applying 5 debuffs across each enemy, is that 10% TM gained or 50% TM gained? Whenever a Darkside Droid or a Darkside Scoundrel ally inflicts a debuff on an enemy, they gain 10% turn meter. This is almost like the same exact question as the Vader one, only more concise. This will only happen once per turn, so the first debuff inflicted by that ally will give them 10% turn meter. Why was this character created over more popular characters that are in movies and TV shows? Fantastic question, because nobody knows who fucking Aphra is unless you read the comics. Which, I mean, I guess they assume that if you like Star Wars, you're already a nerd. But consuming content when it's like on your phone, like this game or a movie, is a lot different and easier than buying comics. First off, tracking down where to buy comics, then buying comics, reading them. Anyhow, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes tries to touchstone every part of the Star Wars universe. This past year, we have included characters from video games, Disney Plus shows, Rise of Skywalker, The Old Republic, Clone Wars, Rogue One, Rebels, and Return of the Jedi. Speaking of, they're talking about this stuff, the Old Republic. They have all those new Old Republic books. I wonder if they're ever going to add in characters from those books. I mean, there's like 6 or 7 of those books out now. Come on, man, that's a lot of content that you could be getting from, drawing from. Anyways, we wanted to get the characters from the comic books into the game for a while and took this opportunity to deliver them to their fans, while at the same time exposing them to players who may not be familiar with the characters. This gives those players an opportunity to find an affinity for these new units. That's a weird short sentence. Doctor Aphra and company have a very strong fan base, and we love the opportunity to bring her to the game and show more people how awesome she is. I mean, I guess you get a point there, but the person asking the question has a point too. Like, yes, you introduce people who don't know these characters to these characters, like me. I don't know Doctor Aphra and BT1 and all that. But at the same time, don't you think it would make more sense to bring characters to the game that people do know? That way then they're pumped about it, like Starkiller, you know? That's some random character. Oh yeah, Doctor Aphra, I don't know who that is, I don't want her. I don't know, I just feel like that could possibly be a situation that people aren't going to try to farm for her because they don't care, like me. I don't care, I'm not going to go after her. You know, I don't know who she is. I don't have any feelings towards her. I'm not like, oh, that's cool, like Starkiller. I want to get Starkiller unlocked because Starkiller's cool. But Dr. Aphra, don't know you. You're just a person. You're an archaeologist who works well with droids. Like, doesn't even sound cool. Like, I like Star Wars for the Force and lightsabers. I don't care about an archaeologist. If I did, then I would like Indiana Jones, and I'd be playing an Indiana Jones game, not a Star Wars game. So, yeah. Anyways, clearly that is all that we got. We're at the bottom of the article, so yeah, if you check this out with me, thanks a bunch, and until next time, I said see ya.